everybody, this is Jessie, and I'm coming to you today from this amazing little spot. As you can see, another great little snippet here in Sioux Falls. And it was very interesting because I couldn't quite figure out why I was being drawn to this spot, why today out of everything else. And I had been pondering so many different things to do a video on, and so many different options of, you know, what should I talk about this month and share with you as we're coming up on the full moon here in May. And what was interesting was it dawned on me that I really haven't been to this park hardly at all since I've been here. I've been here for 11 months, and I came to this park actually about 10 months ago, and it was right on the day that my mother passed away. And it's very interesting because the energy here is so representative of my parents, and I could remember my dad being there with her and being able to see the two of them shortly after she passed. And of course, as a visionary, I could see them. They weren't here in physical form. And what's interesting with some of this connection is that in a week from now, I'm going to be heading back to the place in which she passed away. So it's such an interesting connection because I've been pondering so many things today about why, when I've been doing all this work to do alignment, and why when I'm putting so many more things in place and strengthening the pieces that I really resonate with in life and making the shifts and the changes that bring that resonation in, and to let go of what is not resonating, even though at times that can be a little bit scary to do. That can be a little unsettling to do, to say the least. And I was pulling some pieces together because I had been dealing with some people who were very angry, very frustrated, very upset today, actually over the last few days. And I thought to myself, what is this all about? How does all of these different pieces connect? And so I was at the gym and I was working out, and all the power went out there, and I still hadn't made all the connections. And I came down here and I took a walk, and the connections started coming through. And what I realized was the connecting piece between all of these is that I know wherever I am, I shine a light. I shine a light of the divine. And it's important for us to remember that we are that light, that we have that light, that we share that light with people. And in the process of that, when we make shifts and changes, that can create some unsettling things. And it doesn't mean that we're to blame for things that happen to other people or in their lives, because they make their own choices, they create their own circumstances. However, what we do find in this situation is that what I'm experiencing now and what I was experiencing the last time I was at this park both had to do with that light walking away. Because when I left Utah, I saw a very rapid decline happen for my mother, and a very rapid decline in her health when she realized that I was going to be on the road and not just coming back doing everything that she wanted. And that could sound maybe a little mean, but it's not when you know all of the circumstances, because there's many pieces involved in that. And as dearly as I loved her, you know, she was trying to force me into a lifestyle that was not healthy for me. It wasn't the right thing for me. And I was coming up against that again. And what I realized, I was trying to do all the reflective pieces, the mirror pieces, all those things that we tend to run through that we know about when we're on our spiritual path. And what I realized is the person that I've been dealing with that's had so much anger lately and so much frustration going on, they are unconsciously picking up that the light may be leaving their life, and that I may be stepping away from that person. And that can be a very scary thing for people, because there's a couple of different aspects. You know, one, they've been so happy to have the light in their life and they don't want it to go, and they are so used to controlling things, and now they're not able to control my choices, my decisions in life. And there's also senses of failure and self-worth that are going on because they didn't do more with that energy while I was there. And some people are just simply afraid to grow. They're not ready to move more into the light. And when that happens and you are a carrier of the light and you're a spark of the light, then those people will shift into these very unsettling spaces a lot of times. They'll make choices, they'll express it through passive aggressive type behaviors and things like that. And they don't know it, but they sense it. They still sense that absence, and there's a fear that goes on there, like, what will I do without this light in my life? And at some point we have to say, you know what, I have to honor my path. And many spiritual people sometimes struggle with that piece of being able to honor their path and move forward and move on and going ahead with things, and realizing when they have done all that they can do in a situation, and realizing when they also need to honor and take care of themselves and be in spaces and places and around people that provide more resonance for them. And these are important times that we honor that right now. So I came to realize that all of these things come back to what happens to people when light is leaving their life, when the absence is leaving their life. And all we can hope for, it's like the mother bird who flies away and kicks the little baby birds out of the nest. It's a great parallel right now because we have a bunch of baby ducklings around here right now. And, and then she has to hope they fly and they're okay. And it's kind of the same thing when you're a person bearing the light and you step away from people, is you can't stay there forever. All you can do is give them the chances and the opportunity, and when the time comes, you have to hope that they will somehow find that light in themselves and take hold and make the shifts and the transitions and the changes without you being there. So I wanted to share this little piece because it's not something that we think about all the time. We talk about processes, we talk about striving for this and doing for that, and I've talked a lot about codes, and when we talk about the codes of light, what we really have going on there is, what do we have going on there? I should have thought about that more before I started the video, right? But what we have going on there is strange accidents, energy patterns. That is what light codes out to. And so what happens in that situation and when light is active and involved is we have strange happenings. Things are going to get uprooted, unsettled at times, and incidents are going to happen that are going to shift situations in miraculous ways or upheave things so that we can all move on. And that's the important thing, is not to try to hold on to that situation, not to be frustrated, not to get sucked into the negativity of those who are struggling when they even subconsciously realize there's light leaving their life. And all we can do is just send that energy that they can find that spark within themselves. We're only an outward reflection that they have it in them, but we can't force them to see it. We can't force them to use it. We can't force them to take hold of it. And I remember this as well at the time that my mom was in the process of passing away and the last few months of her life. And I spent many years being around her to remind her of the light within her. And there were so many pieces that she wasn't choosing that on a conscious level as well. And there comes a time that the light can only stay so long around people and places and things that are not choosing to progress themselves. So it's a big piece. And I think in all of this, I just don't want you to feel guilty if you're walking away from something. Don't feel guilty for honoring your processes. And again, realizing this bigger picture of what's happening with somebody, what's really going on for them, instead of just getting sucked into their anger and their frustration and all of those moods that they're in. And when you're a light, you just shine that light, you see their light even amongst all of that, and you wish them well. So this is Jessie on Nichols George, and it's been a pleasure to come to you this month. I hope this has been useful. I hope this has been helpful for you, and you can check out all of my work, my code interpretation work, and everything else that I have going on through my website, Jessie on Nichols George, the number 1.com. And I will be shifting soon from that website, just to give you a heads up. So if you have any trouble accessing through that, that link is going to stay active. But if you do have any trouble accessing through that, it'll only be a few short weeks and I'll have the new website up, which is compassioncodes.com. Take care, everybody. Until next month, have a very blessed full moon.